Welcome back, Rainmakers, to the Crypto Rain channel. I'm your host, Jay Murph, and today we're going to cover a project that I've been following closely for months now, and it's Orion Protocol. If you haven't heard me covering them lately, well, that's because their price was not in an attractive spot for me. So, when I love to cover things is when I look at them and I'm like, wow, that price is a pretty darn good price. Even though I've been a big fan of Orion Protocol the whole time around, I did start covering them at $6. So when they hit almost $30, it's like, yeah, I was still buying at 13 or 14. Not that I hated them at $30. It just wasn't this super attractive buy, screaming, buy me, buy me. So what's it doing now? Well, let's go ahead and get right into it. Join me, Rainmakers. All right, well, thank you for joining me. If you don't already know me, I'm Jay Murph with the Crypto Rain channel, and I'm just an investor myself. I've been doing this for 4 years in cryptocurrency. I've been an investor in general for over 20 years, and I like to think I'm good at what I do. In my day job, I'm a professional buyer for an investment company that makes acquisitions for them. Because, acquisition is what I'm really good at, identifying good buys. And so, if you're subscribed to this channel, what you'll get from me is my analysis on what I'm liking out there. Now, I can't tell you what to do. Number one, that would be financial advice, and none of this is financial advice. Number two, what we each do is really on us. And so I'm just telling you the decisions I'm making, and I try to tell you why I'm making them. That way, in some ways, hopefully it'll be helpful. So if you love this kind of content, I'd love it if you like the video and you subscribe to the channel, because that's what you get from me. Overall, I'm not so much a news channel so much as covering the ones that I think have good fundamental analysis on it, and the charts look good, or sometimes just the charts look good, and sometimes I don't know the fundamentals on it, but the charts look so good I feel like I have to cover it. And I do like to cover a little bit up-and-coming projects. So let's talk about Orion Protocol. Now, Orion Protocol is like a decentralized exchange, and what they really are is an aggregator. So what I like about what they have going on is their goal is to be able to allow you to buy pretty much all the tokens. Now, they're not there yet, and they really only ICO'd like a year ago, not even a year ago. And so they have a ways to go there, but they have been making all the partnerships and getting things set up to be able to do that. Imagine if you just had to have one login and you could buy any token that's out there. That would be great, right? Because if you're new, you're like, oh my gosh, I need to get a Binance account, I need to get a KuCoin account, I need to get this and this and this, and you're just like, oh my gosh, it's overwhelming. It is overwhelming, and it's not simple yet. But by the time it gets simple, most people will be using crypto, and the gains won't be there. So as frustrating as it can be to have to do all these extra steps, like get a Binance account and a KuCoin account in order to trade the cryptocurrencies that you're interested in, well, that's just the pains that go when things aren't all ready yet for the masses. And so that's why there's some massive gains that still can be realized. Does that make sense? Orion Protocol, I started talking about it way back here at $6. It is since, right about here. And this came to me from one of my subscribers who said, hey, I like ORN, and he told me all the reasons about it, and then he gave me what the market cap is, and I thought, I'll take a look at it. And I looked at it, I was like, oh my gosh, this is going to be a monster. In fact, I think I labeled the video that Orion Protocol will be a monster. And it has been, because during that time, from here, $6 went all the way up to almost $30. And then it's now retracing at a really attractive zone. I know some of my subscribers were asking me to cover up here, and it was okay. I know in the future, well, I don't know, but I suspect in the future it'll be a lot higher than here. But here is a really attractive price, and I just picked up some more myself. Now, part of what happened is that the mainnet launched. And they say in crypto, buy the news, sell the event, and that so often happens. So all this was the lead up to the mainnet. The mainnet goes live, and what happens? People sell it. And who was selling? Well, people that got it sometime in the past for a heck of a lot cheaper. In fact, there's quite a history where they could have bought it for a heck of a lot cheaper and been in massive profit. And that's if they didn't get it in the ICO. If they got it in the ICO or pre-sale or whatever, they did amazingly well. I think at the the ICO price, it was like 10 cents, and I don't even know what the pre-sale price is, probably even cheaper than that. And so they're massively in a profit. At 10 cents, that's like 170x to this price alone. Okay, that's great that they did well. What I asked myself is this market cap still attractive for the niche that they're in to me? And my answer to that is yes, it is. Secondly, I look at, okay, what is their circulating supply versus max supply? Now, they do continue to increase the amount of Orion Protocol in based on like some token releases to, I forget the team and other things. So there is an inflow increasing this, but it's not a massive inflow. As well as they do have some tokenomics. In fact, they spend a lot of time thinking about their tokenomics and how to continue to make the token do well, and they put a lot of mechanisms in place for that. And I like it. If you want all those details, I'd check my very first video on them where I covered that a lot more in depth. Now, if you haven't subscribed to them on their Twitter, I would suggest that. Not only that, but if you have Blockfolio on your phone and you put it in as one you're following, you will see you get news from them like daily. Their chief marketing officer, Timothea, she is out working all the time and doing all these partnerships and deals. Also, I'm going to put in the link a video. This is with the founder of Orion Protocol as well as One Exchange and Injective, and they're just talking in this conference. It's a virtual conference, but it's a good thing to check out, and just kind of, if you're looking for more information on and kind of want to get a feel for the CEO, it's not a bad way to go to get a feel for him. There is a promotion that you can win Orion VIP NFTs. Just note that this only goes, through the 14th. Yeah, and so you need to make at least 7 trades on Orion Protocol, totaling at least 100 USDT. And you can win one of 20 Orion NFTs. Now, that's not a lot, 20 Orion NFTs. Now, who knows how many people will do this? Maybe a lot, maybe a little, I don't know. But 20 still isn't a lot. But there also is 20,000 worth of Orion Protocol tokens that you can win. Also some hoodies, some Ledger Nano S's. So not bad. And that's at trade.orionprotocol.io. And you can test out their decentralized exchange. You can connect it right up to your MetaMask wallet. If you haven't already figured out how to put Binance Smart Chain on your MetaMask, you probably want to YouTube how to do that and just follow their instructions on the walkthrough for that, because it's best to use the Binance Smart Chain side of it because it'll keep your fees really low. Because if it's running on the Ethereum network, which you can, but Ethereum fees are so high, I suggest that. Now, if you don't have any Orion and you're looking to pick it up, you might want to know where to pick it up. You can get on Binance. And so Binance has the pairs between USDT and Bitcoin. And you can use, if you use the link below to sign up for a Binance account, it allowed me to, for the referral, slide the slider bar over as far as I could to give you up to 10% of your own trades back, on your own trading fees back. And so I set it up that way. If you use that link, it'll give you the most it would let me give you back. Also, I buy it on KuCoin, and the reason I buy it on KuCoin, I know some of you are out there saying it's KuCoin. I know that. I just don't like saying it that way. I call it KuCoin. So, and I'm probably not going to change on that. I buy it through here because then I can stake it right through their thing, going to the staking. I think you go to the earn tab and then down to staking. Then you find a way to move it over on staking into their Pool X side of things, where then you can stake it at like 21% interest. I do think when you go to pull it out, it takes like 3 days for it to then come out. Just know that there's that lockup period that when you do submit it, it takes like 3 days to come back out. But at 21% interest, I'm loving it. You know, and they pay that in Orion Protocol tokens. So I have most of mine staked over there. I did move some over to be able to use the DEX because you needed to have both a little bit of Orion Protocol over there and Binance Smart Chain in order to use their DEX. All right, now this is the news on when they did ICO. So the ICO, as far as it's listed on ICO drops, happened on 14 July 2020. Now it seems like they probably raised most of their funds in their actual private sale or private pre-sale, because they only did, what, a $10,000 public sale, which is almost nothing. But you can see that it was listed at 10 cents. Yeah, and it looks like total tokens 100,000 at 10 cents. That would be $10,000, which is what it says here. So they raised a lot of funds, probably pre-sale and private pre-sale, and we don't have those prices. Let's look at what you probably really want to look at, which is the charting. Now, obviously, I was drawing some things out here. Let me share with you what my thoughts are on this chart. I did go ahead and put the Fibonacci retracement, and I started it from way back at this price, essentially, which is about $2. I took it all the way up to its peak, just under $30. And if you notice, this is why I'm covering them. Because, yes, I still like Orion Protocol for the future. That is an attractive buy zone for me. Now, I did pick up just a little bit when it hit this, but here is when I picked up a bunch more. But I'm going to pick up even more if it comes down here. Now, do I know it'll come down there? No, if I knew it was going to come down there, I wouldn't have bought here and here, because I'd always love to buy cheaper. But overall, when something I'm interested long-term hits attractive buy zones for me, that's when I buy it. So that was decently attractive. I put a little in. This I put in more. If it comes down here, I will be selling other things that are vastly in profit and be rolling it into here, because at this price, I love it. And that's not to say it won't come down further. Who knows? There's a bunch of people that got this at like 10 cents or $1.70 or $2.50, right? So they still can sell here and be totally in profit. And would I be mad? Not at all. I'm patient. I would love it. Please, if you know somebody that has hundreds of thousands of Orion Protocol and they want to dump it and bring the price down here, I'm game. I don't care that I have a bunch tied up in it and that temporarily it drops, because it's not dropping within the time frame that I'm looking to sell it. I would love it if it drops so that I can make even better prices and purchases. Shoot. So by all means, tell them to sell. FUD the heck out of it, and then we'll buy it up, right? Yeah, that's my thought. Now, none of this is financial advice. I'm no financial advisor. This is just, I'm an investor myself. I've been doing this for 4 years in cryptocurrency, investing in general for 20 years, and a professional buyer for an investment company, and I do their acquisition. So I like to think I'm good at this, but who knows? Maybe I am, maybe I'm not. Personality on YouTube, making YouTube videos, right? So I don't know everything. I just often am right, but definitely not always right. All right, guys. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, here's what you will get with the channel. I'm an investor. I did survive I guess 2017 when I started buying, and crypto did tremendously. And my portfolio did mediocre because I was new. I didn't know what I was doing. And the people I was following didn't know what they were doing either. And so it was like the blind leading the blind. And so I'd say my portfolio actually performed about mediocre compared to what the general crypto market did. But still, because my timing was okay, I made some massive gains into early 2018, followed by some severe retracements, especially on all the altcoins. But Bitcoin pulled back 85%, and altcoins pulled back between 95 to 99.5%, and some of them even worse than that. And so I learned a very solid lesson of take profits when the market gets superheated. And I will be looking to take profits. A lot of profits, in fact, almost all my profits, as the market gets crazy. And my thought is that will happen later this year. I don't know exactly when. This cycle is playing out a little bit more like the 2013 cycle than the 2017 cycle. But every cycle is different. They just somewhat rhyme with the past cycles. So I just have to evaluate how it's going overall. In fact, if you wanted to get my thoughts on how it's playing out, it is more like the 2013 cycle, and that overall we're pretty heated right now, and that we might trade generally sideways for a couple months. Now, I don't know for sure. We're just so far ahead earlier in the year than normal. So either we end up having a massive super cycle this year, or it then probably will trade sideways general market cap for a while. So when the general market cap trades sideways, that doesn't mean there's not winners and losers. What that means is when one thing is selling, it's, something else is getting bought. We recently saw that when XRP pumped, right? XRP and a few others pumped. Well, people were selling some of the other tokens to roll into XRP trying to catch that pump. In fact, maybe they were selling Orion Protocol to jump into XRP trying to catch that wave. And so the general market cap did trend up a little bit, but there were a lot of things that dumped while XRP and a few other ones were running. Does that make sense? So who knows? We'll just have to see how it plays out. Just know both of those are a possibility, that the overall trend or market cap could go sideways while some things go higher. Now the overall market cap could go up from here. That'd be crazy if it did, because we're already so overheated, but maybe we do enter a super cycle. Let's see how it plays out. My best guess is, though, we are not at the top of the cycle. If I thought we were, I would be taking some profits. Who knows? I don't have a crystal ball to know exactly how it would go. Now, when I say I'm not taking profits, I am taking profits on many of my winners that have run up a whole lot. And I take profits and I'm rolling them into other things like Orion Protocol when they come back to attractive buys. I'm just not taking profits that I'm taking out of crypto yet. That I will be doing later this year. Now, you might be thinking, well, what if fiat crashes? And that is a risk, because if I sell out mostly of crypto into fiat and fiat goes to like, massive inflation, then yep, that will be bad, right? So we'll see closer this year how it plays out. Now, every cycle in cryptocurrency, the story always goes that fiat is going to crash and go to zero because the government is printing so much money. And that's been true every cycle, that the government is printing record amounts of money. And yet fiat, at least US dollar and even the euro, haven't crashed. Some specific countries have, and maybe this is the cycle that happens. It's just probably not the cycle. And so I guess as we get farther in this year, just have to evaluate how what I suspect is the plan is playing out. Because if I get there and I see, the US dollar and the euro completely inflating like crazy, then yeah, I'm gonna have to make other choices, and maybe I stay in like Bitcoin or something else. We'll see how that plays out. All right, would I stay in gold? I'd probably rather be in Bitcoin than gold, but we'll have to see. I'll be keeping you updated. Overall, if you haven't seen this already on why I started this channel, I do like to share why I started this channel and see if this is a channel that's interesting to you to follow. Thank you for joining me on the Crypto Rain channel. Is it fair to say that we're all investors here and we're looking to make the very most happen during this bull run? And part of making the very most happen during this bull run, I found that I needed access to better information than I was getting. Better information from the standpoint of access to the teams out there. A lot of times they have information that's not private, that they're under contract not to disclose, but that hasn't hit the public awareness yet. And I was tired of finding out this kind of good information after the fact, after major runs had happened. And I knew that if I had that information and access to that information beforehand, I could do a lot better. And the many YouTubers that I followed weren't asking those deeper questions, even if they had access to these teams. So really then, it was on me to start my own channel and try to add value to you so that you would join me in this shared vision. Now, as you found from my videos, if you watched them before, I'm an analytical personality. I like to ask questions, and I like to understand how that's going to relate to the vision of the project, and whether it will hit it and whether it won't, and whether this project might outperform other ones, so that I can make the very most happen and share all of that with you as well. So if you've looked at the track record of the different projects that we've covered over the past 4 months since I started making videos, they've done phenomenal. And I know many of you have used that information to inform yourselves and make your own decisions, and many of you have followed me in many of the decisions that I've made, because I just share with you the decisions I make and how I made them. And many of you have done very, very well with those picks. I know my portfolio has grown tremendously and definitely outperformed the general market. And so if you haven't already, would love it if you like the video and you subscribe to the channel, because that will help me get access to some of the bigger projects, in fact all of the bigger projects, so I can ask even better questions, so that I know when timing is really good on a project. Say I love a project, but timing is also very important, so that then I can cover them better for you to hopefully help inform your decisions. Well, I do appreciate you for being here, and we will see you next time. All right, so if you're a long-term subscriber, you know at the end I sometimes throw in some gems that I'm looking at. Let me share with you a gem that I'm looking at that I just made some purchases on, and that's Avalanche. Avalanche Labs, or Ava Labs, build the Internet of Finance. Avalanche is an open source platform for launching highly decentralized applications. Now, the founders for this are out of Turkey, and Turkey is a country full of very smart, hardworking businessmen, and they have been wrecked by their currency deflating like crazy. And so I wouldn't be surprised if a lot or a big part of the future innovation comes out of Turkey, because the people of that country, they are fighters, and they will work their butts off literally to make things happen. And so Avalanche came out of nowhere, and in fact I missed it. Did some massive gains because you could have bought it before January for literally like $3. It went all the way to $60, so 20x from there. And so when it was here, I realized I had already missed it. I hadn't even heard of Avalanche. They've come out of nowhere and made it to rank 38 on CoinMarketCap. That's pretty amazing. Now, a 4 billion market cap. They have a third of their total supply in circulation. Let me share with you, well, a third of that supply. That's interesting. So really 1/6 of their potential supply in circulation. They let me share with you at the charts what I saw, and what told me, for me it was a buy. Now whether it's a buy for you, that's up to you. But they did break out here, but then they came back in and traded some more in there, and then they have broken out, on this pattern, and they use this as resistance. Now often what happens from this, now do I know that it's going to run up from here? No, I just suspect it will. In fact, it almost always plays out like that, but it doesn't always play out like that. Sometimes from here it kind of does numbers like this and then goes up. Sometimes it goes up immediately. Every once in a great while it comes back and it trades below this, or it trades down here, bounces off of this and does this for a while and then goes up. And so I just knew for me that this zone, after it bounced here and started heading up, for me was a buy zone. So if you're looking for something, you might check out Avalanche and see if you're interested in that. Let's look at what market it's on. I bought this on Binance. There you go. Binance, OKX, Bitfinex. So it's on a lot of things, but Binance is the major one that it's on. Gate.io has it. Qcoin has it as well. So it's on a ton of exchanges out there. So if it's one you're interested, great. I do appreciate you for joining me. If you haven't already, hit that like button. I really appreciate it, and we will see you next time.